Service, I think, is kind of living the dream. They're that team that were 4th place in their league, and now they're guaranteed top 2 in the state.
That's not bad.
And so I think it's like they're playing with other people's money. You know, it's
house money.
South felt the pressure last night, and that's just the nature of the game. But Service shouldn't feel any pressure today.
Yeah, South, the #1 team coming in from the Cook Inlet Conference, falling to Service in the semifinal. And North Pole coming out of the bottom side of the bracket, the #1 seed from the Rail Belt Conference. They went right through the #5 seed, Chugiak, in the first round, and then played West Anchorage in the second round. West Anchorage, the #2 seed from the Cook Inlet Conference, the CIC. And that's North Pole's path to this championship game, as you can see out there on the field. The team captains doing the coin toss, and I'm trying to remember what game it was when I think it was like an NFL game. During the coin toss, they said, "What are you going to do if you win?" And he said, "Well, we're going to go to Disneyland." Afterward, and they said, No, what are you going to do if you win the coin toss? Do you want to receive? He was already thinking post-game at that point.
Well, I think the biggest gaffe after the coin flip might have been Billy Cannon back in the day, the early 60s. They flipped the coin, and he said, "We'll kick to the clock." Well, he wanted to go a certain direction, but his first words were, "We'll kick." Well, naturally, you want to receive.
Right.
So that's one of the all-time, giveaways on the clock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lots of fairly fascinating coaching blunders over the years. Interesting game before this one. It was the Division III state championship for football, and Homer winning that one over the defending Kenai Cardinal state champions. Final score 16-0. The game was scoreless until 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and the Mariners, with about 8 minutes to go, they hadn't moved the ball more than 40 yards on a single drive. They went 90 yards, and they scored and converted a 2-point attempt and took an 8-0 lead. Then an interception from Kenai, and Homer gets the ball back. They run Kenai out of their timeouts. And this is sticking on the interesting coaching calls conversation. Kenai is out of timeouts, and there's about a minute to play, and Homer ends up with the ball on the Kenai 1-yard line. And instead of taking a knee and running out the clock, they run 3 plays, and they end up scoring a touchdown, and the final score 16-0. So from a sportsmanship standpoint,
like that.
Yeah, you can argue with good choice, bad choice, but I'm just looking at that and I'm going, what happens if you fumble the football?
Right. You're taking a chance.
Yeah.
But, Nick, you're telling me that the 4th-ranked Homer team went to Barrow, Alaska, took on the #1 team at the top of the world, upset them, went in an all-peninsula final against the Kenai team that defeated them during the regular season.
Outscored them 60-8
and
through
then
the
Homer
season.
Won. So apparently somebody got done with the fishing season, and Homer added to their lineup.
Wrapped it up. No, Service is going to start off with the ball here.
It's on the 14-yard line, so they need to make the 20. This first down is usually not a hard time to capture first down.
Here's the snap, handoff, run to the outside. That is not Jalen Colby. I'm looking at the North Pole roster. That's, Jalen Colby. I got 2 North Pole rosters here.
Nora Simon on the carry, and Norma Simon. You'll hear that name over and over. They throw it to her, she catches it, she returns punts, she defends the best player on the other team. I don't know. I don't have a vote, but she's the Gatorade Player of the Year
for flag football.
And there's a lot of good players.
Very impressive. Paige Tibbetts, no, not Paige Tibbetts. That's Sana Myers takes the snap and the handoff once again to Nora Simon. Can't quite advance the ball, so it'll be 3rd down for the Service Cougars. Ball out to about the 12-yard line, so they've actually backed up a little bit.
So they spread the field here, and a lot of times teams like to go middle. North Pole's going to rush 3, so whatever happens is going to have to happen in a hurry.
Sonoma Myers in at quarterback to take the snap. You hear the crowd really getting into it here. There's the snap. Myers' pass is in and out and complete. And that is Rachel Utic on the catch, and that's good enough for a first down.
Well, they spread the field, Nick, and when they did that, North Pole had 3 to rush, at least 4 defenders guarding.
Yeah.
And here on the near side, there was 1 guarding 2. They left the inside receiver open. So service, they'll line up spread again. And if they don't change their coverage, they're going to take advantage of that 2 receivers versus 1 defender.
Utic with an acrobatic catch. Here's the snap to Myers, throwing far side. That pass in and out of the hands of Heidi Schumacher. And that'll make it second down. And now in flag football, as we said, you got to get to the 20, then the 40, then the 40 again on the other side, then the 20, and then you got to get it into the end zone. So, 20 yards to go here for service. Just
getting the first down, if you can extend beyond that, then you create a shorter field. Myers
airs one out. She's got a receiver. Pass is complete. On her way up the sideline. That is 23, but we don't have her on the roster here.
Right, and she's the only one that's not on the roster.
Okay.
So you try to listen to Norm, the PA guy upstairs. See if we can pick that up. But, Nick, that was the situation that we just talked about. The 2 receivers were wide this way. There was only 1 defender.
Yeah.
The inside receiver caught the last one. She went with the inside receiver and left the girl wide open down the sideline.
So now you're just playing mind games on offense here.
Yeah, and they're keeping with that formation.
Going spread. Myers now finding 23, who cuts across midfield and has her flag pulled off at about the North Pole 42-yard line.
Actually, what happened on that play, her flag dropped.
Oh, it dropped.
And so the rule on that play is the defense only has to touch her. The ball stays live. And, again, they're just past the 40, so they're still 1st and 18.
Service methodically moving the ball downfield after finding themselves in a 3rd and very long early in the drive. Here's the snap. Pass is out to the far side, in and out of the hands of Nora Simon.
Wow.
Had that one dead to rights and just couldn't quite get a hold on it.
She gets a lot of yards after catch, so that could have been a big play. But North Pole yesterday really had a lot of success rushing the passer. They'd often go with 3 people. But
now down to 2.
They've dropped down to 2 rushers.
Yeah, got torched on the outside there a couple times. Here's the pass once again to Myers, or excuse me, that is Simon, and has their flag pulled off after she picks up the first down.
Yeah,
they were inside the first down, so now it's a 3rd down.
She's going to win that one-on-one battle more often than not, but the second defender closed the gap.
That was Nevaeh Wilson for North Pole.
3rd and about 16.
Yep, here's the snap. Myers looking to pass, looking for Simon deep, and that pass falls a little incomplete, just underthrown. Myers had found the space behind the coverage, and now a long 4th down for the Cougars.
Well, they had her, and the ball just didn't quite travel far enough. It was a catchable pass, and now the decision, they have to declare whether they're going to punt or play, and what they're going to do is call a timeout. That's my prediction.
Sonoma
Unless
Myers
they do
takes
snap
the
it.
snap, looking for Simon over the top. That ball is picked off. Now running back the other way. It's Tamaine Skips to the near sideline, and Myers is able to pull the flag off and saves a touchdown. Tamaine Skips will be playing quarterback maybe for North Pole now that they take over on offense with the interception and a return of about 40 yards.
Skip's outstanding athlete for North Pole, but on 4th down, when it's 4th and long, it's good. You don't want to take a sack. It's good to throw the ball and give your receiver a chance. And even though they had a good return, they had it on downs. It's not quite as hurtful. Here's a little reverse action
from North Pole. Now working to the far sideline. Jade Skips. She's got the first down and some more, and sets the Patriots up with a short line to gain on their next series. So I like how this works, that regardless, your next first down is going to be on the 20.
Right.
So you can set yourself up nicely. Here they only have about 8 yards to go. In motion, another reverse, and Skips just slips and goes down inside the far hash.
Well,
that's Jade Skips.
I'm glad I'm getting to watch North Pole for the third time because
okay.
occasionally I know where the ball is. They have such a scheme. They hand off to the initial back. She gives it to a wide back. And then as they go further and further, the ball ends up in a different player's hand. So
Timane Skips back to receive the snap. There's the handoff running near side and a pitch outside. And the ball almost gets out of the hands of Tina Guzman. And I think she's got the first down. She was close.
She's just a little shy. But that time they gave it to the first one. They were sweeping one way, but they also had an option. The running back had the option. And one of the things about an option, Nick, is it's not a high risk.
Right.
If you do it in tackle, that's a high risk. It might drop. Was that a forward pass? Was that a backward pass? Here in flag football, it's hard to execute, but if it bounces, there's not going to be a turnover because the ball's dead.
Skips back to take the snap. In motion, coming across. There's the snap. Handoff up the middle. The other Skips across the 5-yard line or across the 10. Picks up the first down, and North Pole is knocking on the doorstep on their first drive of the game with just over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter.
So, Nick, you've seen this kind of action before, and it's on the peninsula. And Soldotna does it. They got people going in every direction. They've got a bootleg. You have to find the football. That's kind of.
Skips back to take the snap. Guzman in motion. Fakes now, pitches the ball to Skips, and they're going to mark Guzman down. Looks like she had her flag pulled off before she was able to get rid of the pitch.
Yeah, that's a tough, really tough call for the officials to make. They're reaching for the flag. They're pulling the flag. The ball's gone. And really, if you're the option person, it's incumbent on you to get rid of that ball. Don't try to wait till the very last minute.
Second down and goal for the Patriots. Here's the snap. Skips running near side. Looking to pitch. Maybe. No, she tries to turn it upfield and is taken down after a gain of maybe a couple. Looks like they'll spot it at the 11.
Yeah. One aspect of flag football is if you call the penalty every time someone falls down. But I think what the officials try to do is they try to, somebody's running, they're cutting, there's some bumping. People end up on the ground. It's not really a penalized type play, but it's a pretty common play. But occasionally somebody will deck somebody.
Ball in the near hash. Skips takes the snap, running right. Looking to throw. Finds somebody right at the 2-yard line. Spinning toward the end zone, and a flag comes in. Who was that on the catch? It was Guzman.
So I think on the flag, she caught it at about the 2, and Service had a good opportunity to pull the flag, but the most common defensive penalty is a hold. And it happens when you reach for a flag.
So it'll be third down for the Patriots right at the goal line. And so you say that's the most common penalty you see in flag football is a hold.
Because you miss the flag. And sometimes, if it helps you get the flag and it keeps a breakaway. I don't know. There's a little confusion when they call the penalty, but it doesn't matter. It's half the distance, whatever it is. So they're going to have it still third down.
North Pole, 2 downs to get this one in the end zone. Skips takes the snap, keeps it herself running near side. She's got all sorts of room, and does she get in before they get the flag off? No, they're going to mark her short on about the 1-inch line. And Nick, that's got to be a hard one to tell with the naked eye, especially when she's reaching the ball out like that.
Yeah, this is pretty rare, but in the course of this tournament, this has happened about 10 times where they've been caught on the 1 inch. So that was Simon who closes the gap and grabbed the flag right in time. And sometimes, depending on what happens this play, that could be a huge, huge play.
Fourth down. Here's the snap and into the end zone for the score. It's Timane Skips for the Patriots, and they strike first blood. Patriots go on top 6-0. Now walk us through the post-touchdown etiquette.
3 choices. You can go for a 1, and that takes place from the 3-yard line. You can go for 2 out at the 10.
Okay.
A little more difficult, but pays off. You can actually go for 3 from the 20. And if you're down by 3, that's not a bad option.
Right. Skips back to take the snap. There's the snap. Handoff right up the middle, and the younger Skips, that is Jade, in for the 1-point conversion. And that makes it 7-0. North Pole on top.
So the clock continues to run. We're going to hit the quarter here, so a break in the action coming up here.
7-0, North Pole on top in the flag football state championship on the NFHS network. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Field in Wasilla, Alaska. It's state championship flag football between the Service Cougars and the North Pole Patriots. North Pole has just taken a lead. They're on top of Service 7-0, scoring that touchdown right at the end of the first quarter. And now Service will take over. They'll start on their own, looks like about their own 15-yard line.
Well, they started on the 15 after on the start of a new possession, so they need to reach the 20.
So 4 downs to get those 5 yards. There's the snap. Myers looking to pass very quick. That one a little high in a pitch. Catch was made by Heidi Schumacher, but Patriots able to get the flag off before Nora Simons could take the pitch, and that one had trickeration written all over it.
Well, you'd say it was a trick play, but we've seen it about 10 times in the tournament. I mean, there's a kind of play, it might be successful about once a season, and yet
They'll never stop trying.
Every team tried it. And you know what makes it hard is if you're split wide, it's hard enough to complete a pass, much less have the timing. You need to.
Bunch formation for Service. Simons is taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Flying in, Jalen Colby gets the do we call them tackles?
Well, you call them pulls.
Pulls.
Quite
yes,
often.
pull.
I often call them tackles.
Yeah, understandably.
You know, if North Pole wins, we'll go to North Pole and we'll ask them what they'll call them, and that's what we'll do.
We'll let the crowned ones set the terminology. Now spread for Seward. Sonoma Myers back to take the snap. Keep your eye on Nora Simon here on the near side now, number 5. Also Heidi Schumacher. There's a pass right over the middle, but that does not go very far, as Rachel Utic is taken down short of the line to gain. Now 4th down, and Service is just going to get rid of this.
Yeah, so they declare kick, and North Pole made a big adjustment there on their second defensive. At the end, they were just rushing one, and they'd given a little ground. They were matched up. They had safeties, so it was a completely different. And Service only went to the spread when they showed they were rushing 3 people. So, you know, when they're rushing 1, they need to go back to the run, and when they rush 3, they can go to a short pass. It's a little chess game out there.
A high punt. Looks like the defender right in front of the kicker for North Pole. That's Alina Sipes. Looked like she may have gotten a finger on that one.
No.
And now North Pole has a very short field to work with.
You're not actually allowed to block a punt.
Oh, you're not?
You're not. And, you know, that's one of the shortest punts you can have, because if it doesn't cross the scrimmage line, it's not considered a punt.
Yeah, North Pole taking over on the Service 25, a chance to add on to their lead here with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Handoff, Sipes running, or Stips running near side, has her flag pulled off right after she picks up the first down. So it'll be about 20 yards to find the end zone for North Pole.
Well, the Cougars, they made an adjustment as well, and they were really in good position, but the running back just won the war and got around the corner. It is 1st and goal, but it's one of those situations where there's still 19 yards to go. So,
yeah. North Pole a long haul to get in here. Now in motion. Here's the snap, handoff up the middle. Nice run by Jalen Colby. Picks up about 8 yards down to the service 11-yard line.
Well, it's a great scheme. You know, they've got someone going right, someone going left, and sometimes they forget about that one down the middle.
Skips in the backfield, takes the snap. She's rolling left, looking maybe to pass. She's going to keep it, and she'll have her flag pulled after a pickup of about 3. So now a third down. Oh, and a flag comes out. This one way in the backfield. Personal foul against Service.
So that's going to be half the distance. One thing I thought I saw in that play, and it's kind of a play you see at the higher level, the offensive players that kind of run off the defensive backs, and they run patterns where they bump the defensive back, and then the player that's on the out. So I think at the higher levels they try to, you know, do it in a manner that they don't get called. But I thought that could have been offensive pass interference. Instead, the penalty goes against Cougars, and so they're back on their heels.
Penalty called on Xavier Dinganga for Service, and now North Pole knocking on the door on their second drive, 7 minutes and 15 seconds. They're going to have 3 chances to put this one in the end zone. Skips, takes the snap, keeps it herself, almost chased down from behind, dashing upfield, and has her flag pulled just shy of the goal line, down to about the 4. It'll be third down for the Patriots.
Skips, she throws a good ball. She's a clever runner, not overly speedy, but her best skill and what she's really good at, maybe better than any quarterback in the tournament, she really handles the ball well. She hides it. She carries out fakes.
She's going to get another snap here on third down. That's a handoff up the gut and in for a touchdown. Jade Skips finds the touchdown, finds the end zone for the second time today. And North Pole jumping out to an early lead. They're on top 13-0. We'll see what they opt to go for here.
One thing about North Pole, so you're the northernmost team in Alaska. People don't get to watch you. They run I don't know of anybody else that runs this type of offense. So now you see them for the first time. It's tough to guard.
A lot of misdirection, and right up the gut again, Jalen Colby moonwalks it in for the extra point, and the Patriots lead 14-0. And Service, a little ground to make up in the first half with only 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Well, I don't know how you stop. One thing you have to do is you have to stay home. You have to be really sound. It's what Lathrop did when they upset Soldotna, because if you react to every fake and every movement,
right,
it doesn't matter if you have better athletes. So Soldotna's beaten a lot of teams that have better athletes.
Service once again. Here's the snap. Simon working her way to the far side, and she's going to get pulled in the backfield. Who was that closing the distance? That was Skips getting it done on both sides of the ball. A loss of probably 4 or 5 for Service, who really ought to think about going back to that spread. It looks like they are.
Well, whatever they do, they got to get the ball in Simon's hands, whether it's run or pass.
Simon on the near side. Here's a pass, and that's Utic, and unable to pull that one down. And it's going to be a third down and long for the Cougars with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. North Pole on top 14-0.
They had a good drive initially, the Cougars, but they've been 3 and out since then, and now looking at a long third down.
There's pressure. Throw is a wobbler, and that's going to be picked off by the Patriots. Down to the 15. Tiana Guzman with the interception. And South is kicking themselves right now because they would like to be in this one.
Oh, well.
Service is
just
South.
is in the worst
looking
position.
at this game and wishing they could have been here.
Right.
Service is struggling, and North Pole a very short field to work with to make it a 3-score game early on.
Yeah, they're in control of the score. They're in control of the time and really dominating this game.
In motion, skips, keeps it, running far side, and she's going to dance in for a touchdown on one play. What a drive by North Pole after the interception.
Well, you got to honor the fake in the middle. They've made a lot of ground in the middle. Then you got to honor the possibility of option. And so good decision to keep it. And, you know, one difference between – there's been a lot of differences, but the ability to pull flags. Service has not done well in pulling flags, and North Pole has rarely missed. And they've kept Simon and Service bottled up.
Especially in the backfield, too. 20-0 now North Pole on top. Skips takes the snap, handoff on the 2-point conversion, and Jade Skips is in. A flag comes in, though, late in the play. Looks like this one's going to go against Service.
Yeah,
though.
well, it's going to go against North Pole unless I really see it wrong, although the officials are huddling. But there was a Service player that was on the ground, and there was a North Pole player with her. Now, I didn't see her knock her down.
Sometimes people trip over their own feet, but
if you come to the intersection.
So it is going to go against North Pole. And so walk me through that penalty. You can block, but you can't block too hard? Or?
Yeah, well, it's in the book that it's more of a screen, like a screen in basketball.
Okay.
But some coaches, it was me. I tell them, you go find out what a block, what that is.
Yeah.
So don't play the whole game, not setting an adequate screen.
Right.
And people disagreed with me, but, eventually we would see what does the referee, because an illegal block is what the referee says is an illegal block.
Right, yeah.
So, and some people are very aggressive.
It's like in baseball. You got to find the strike zone.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So with the subjective type calls, you got to find out what kind of
strike is what the umpire calls a strike.
Yeah, exactly. You got to find out what sort of umpiring or refereeing you're working with, and so a nice move by the Patriots. Still long conference here.
Well, what's happened here, Nick, and they've assessed the penalty. They'll replay the try, but it's also the 2-minute stopping of the clock. It's a rule in the second and the fourth, and
only time the clock stops. A little motion from Skips, who now there's a pass looking wide open in the end zone, and that is a 2-point or a 1-point conversion. Tayana Guzman, the 2-point conversion reception.
Yeah, it's
or 1 point, I guess.
1 point
because they moved it back.
Remains a
yeah.
deal.
There we go. So 1 point this time. So 21-0 North Pole on top in the Flag Football State Championship. And immediate timeout. So we will step aside. You're watching NFHS Network coverage of the Flag Football Alaska State Championship game. Wasilla High School football field, Veterans Memorial Field. The North Pole Patriots have taken a commanding lead in the second quarter of the Flag Football State Championship. Service, though, going to try and move the ball down the field. There's a snap handoff up the middle, and that is Simon, and she gets nada on the carry.
Yeah, the ball came loose, and you're not permitted to punch the ball out or you grab the football. That's not a legal play. But Service wants to at least, get a first down here. They look to the sidelines to get the play.
Sonoma Myers back to receive the snap again. She's got Simon behind her. Here's the snap. Now it's going to be an option for Myers, and she's going to reverse the field and try and cut back this way, but Nothing much there. Close to a first down.
Yeah, she didn't have that far to go, but it's still a little ways to go, and it's kind of you're in between. You don't know whether to call the timeout because if you don't get the first down, you're giving it back to the Patriots.
Clock now under a minute to play. Ball on the service, 16. Myers looks to pass, finds Simon on the far side. Simon trying to turn it upfield, and what a pull by Skips, diving in and getting the flag off of the elusive and speedy Simon, and that's going to make it fourth down.
Boy, Simon looked like she was going to get the first down and then get out of bounds, which would have been an ideal play for the Cougars. Instead, after the grab, and really, if North Pole was inclined, and this was a closer game, they would call timeout.
Only 18 seconds, now 15 remain before the end of the first half. A spiraling kick. This will be picked up by Jade Skips. Now she just drops it, so that'll end play with 7 seconds remaining.
Well, since it's stop clock and since it's regular rules, on the change of possession, the clock will stop, and it won't start until the next play. So most likely one more play.
Yeah, one more play in.
But if you wanted to take a timeout or you threw an incomplete pass,
maybe two. North Pole leading 21-0. They came out fire and they've kept it going. Skips back to receive the snap. Now they're moving all over the place, getting set up. Now back this way. Motion, Skips, hands it off. Skips running near side. Nice little bounce outside, and
can't get away from Simon.
Pulled. Simon gets in there, and that'll take us to halftime. North Pole scores thrice in the first half. They lead service 21-0. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. We'll talk a little bit about the first half. You're watching the 2024 ASAA Flag Football State Championship on the NFHS Network. Welcome back to the ASAA 2024 Flag Football State Championship. Coverage provided by the NFHS Network. Nick Sorrell alongside Brad Lowers. North Pole on top, 21-0 at halftime.
Nick, we want to remember that during championship action here on NFHS Network, the ASAA sponsors are who help bring it to you. First National Bank Alaska, proudly sponsoring high school championships events for the past 33 years. GCI is our local champion of connectivity. Also free admission for seniors and elders provided by ASRC. As we look down our list of sponsors, and the game goes so fast it's hard to recognize these folks who do so much, but Donlin Gold is a proud academic award sponsor. Hillcore, proud to partner with ASAA to strengthen student-athletes' wellness. NANA, celebrating over 50 years of Alaska Native strength and unity. Alaska Commercial Company, Alaska's oldest realtor. They serve rural Alaska since 1867. And while we have just a few seconds, ConocoPhillips is responsible resource development for Alaska. Alaska Industrial Hardware, and that's an Alaskan native-owned hardware store. Alaska Airlines, hey, who doesn't like Alaska Airlines? And Club 49. Finally, ASAA 365, that's home to high school sports. You're going to find local schedules and results ASAA 365. And, Nick, you have some
Oh yeah, we got
scores
some
from town.
Score updates from around the state for Division II football. The Lathrop Malamutes knocked off the North Pole Patriots in what they call the Mayor's Cup up there in Fairbanks, 42-13, and the Soldotna Stars 59-6 in the semifinal game against the Chugiak Mustangs. Oh, well, wouldn't you know, we've got Lathrop and Soldotna in the Division II state championship.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra has referred to that sort of a situation a couple times. Yeah, he's referred to it a couple times. Yogi Berra has referred to it a couple times. You see where I'm going with this?
Deja vu all over again.
Yeah, deja vu all over again and again and again and again. It's either been Soldotna or Lathrop winning the Division II state championship every year since 2012.
Well, Soldotna's had a really incredible win streak, and yet Lathrop
knocked him off
a
couple weeks ago, and then looks like your Division I state championship is going to be West Anchorage, who knocked off the East Anchorage Thunderbirds 34-14 earlier today. And in the third quarter, Diamond Lynx are on top of the Bartlett Golden Bears 20-6. Coming out of halftime, it'll be North Pole ball. They'll start at their 15.
Had a problem with flags. Each player has to wear flags, and sometimes you're the center, maybe not involved in a play, but it doesn't matter. You need to have all 7 players with flags.
There's the snap and the handoff to Guzman. Right up the gut. Still no flags taken off. Finally, the grab comes from, guess who? Simon getting the pull. Oh, no, that's not Simon. That's actually what we got here.
Is that 15?
It is Bethany Gravel, number 8.
Okay.
Gets the grab, and good enough for a first down, though, for North Pole. They're looking to make this a 4-score game. Skips back to take the snap. There it is, and handoff is to Guzman, and it's a reverse to Jade Skips, finding a gap in the defense, near side, and is stopped by Sky Richardson for service after a pickup of about 10.
When it's your safeties making a lot of the pulls, you know your defense is a little bit of trouble. And really, service fundamentally was in good position, but Skips made a miss. Second down, and looks like about 5 to go.
The athleticism from North Pole is really just on another level in this game. They're playing.
Yeah. And
they've got great acceleration from a couple of their players.
It's depth of athleticism. There's not 1 or 2 people.
Up
they
the
have a lot
now.
of people.
Skips avoids one pull, now goes far side, room to work. Midfield, another miss, and now gets her flag pulled past midfield down to the service 46-yard line. What a show. Skips Taimani Skips has given us here.
Well, she has that little thing that doesn't apply in other sports, but you run and you kind of
you can contort your body.
Yeah, you thrust your hips where the flags are no longer available.
Yeah, great body control. In regular football, you'll see running backs kind of bending their body as they get through to kind of form to a hole. Somewhat similar to that. Now at the service 47, Taimani Skips, takes the snap, keeps it herself. She's going to try and go right up the gut and has her flag pulled after a pickup of about 5. So just a couple more yards to go for a fresh set of downs. 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, she carries that ball. You say it like a loaf of bread, but it seems even beyond that. You know, she can have her regular running motion. She's got big hands, I'm assuming, because that ball disappears.
Yeah, well, and really, there's the fumble is of no consequence.
Right.
In flag football.
That's a good point. Well, here, what is their look here?
Got a stack set over on the far side, and now Jade Skips is going to keep it, and that results in a loss of yardage.
Wow.
And flag coming off. It'll be a third down and 5.
That was a player's flag, but that was kind of what I would have expected is one of their plays where they fake right, fake left, and have somebody hit up the middle.
Yeah,
but
lots of misdirection.
that was kind of a slow developing play. The football's actually a little smaller as well, and you got to watch for people that go down to a department store and get a little kid football.
Here's the snap. Skips hands it off, and heading right up the middle is Jalen Colby. And Service, a nice defensive stand here after a couple big plays from North Pole, who faces a 4th down, and they still have about 2 yards to go.
The analytics say, well,
go for it.
I don't know what analytics even means, but it's just not that big a deal. You know, if you punt it, you only maybe add 20 yards. Maybe they only have to get 1 first down. So it's not really that big a risk.
Probably going to stay in the hands of Skips. Yes, it is. Right up the middle. She's got the first down. And a flag coming in late from the back judge. Skips, I believe she did get the first down unless they mark her back.
They're going to come back as a flag after the whistle.
So we'll see what this one ends up being. A note is that this broadcast is the exclusive property of the NFHS network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or reproduction of this broadcast in whole or in part without the express written consent of the NFHS network is strictly prohibited. This includes any and all forms of media, including but not limited to television, radio, online streaming, and social media platforms. Unauthorized use may result in legal action.
Nick, that was as well as I've ever heard it, but in broadcasting over 100 games, I've never not read the disclaimer.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let me
no, I'm not going to do it again because they made it longer.
It is a little bit longer than it used to be.
Let's use this opportunity to join with the teams in a timeout with 6:51 to play. Back soon on the NFHS network.
Welcome back to the 2024 ASAA Flag Football State Championship game between the Service Cougars and the North Pole Patriots. Coming out of the timeout, 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter. North Pole in control, 21-0.
Yeah, with the penalty after timeout, like on 4th down, we're going to run a scrimmage play. But now with the penalty, North Pole elects to change to a punt. You have to declare a punt, so Service ready on the return.
North Pole will punt it away. Jade Skips. That one goes right through the hands of Nora Simon. And Service is going to take over, I believe, right on their own 20-yard line. So they got a long road to hoe to get another first down.
Oh, that went as bad as it possibly could. Because the game turned yesterday with South when Simon caught a punt and returned it about 40, 50 yards. And Service hadn't even had maybe one first down to that point, and they scored the touchdown. Service. Now they muff it, and they get it 1st and 20.
And
then they
low
muff the
snap is on the ground, and that's going to be a loss of about 3. And so Service having a really hard time gaining any momentum, which, on that first drive of the first quarter, they appeared to be moving the ball very well until it was picked off by Taimani Skips for North Pole. Myers takes the snap and hands it off to Simon, who tries to thread the needle. But when you're headed right at number 41, you're not gonna make that split that gap. 5 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the third.
I got to tell you, Nick, this North Pole team impressed me in the early games, but in watching them here in the light of day and a chance to working with you, I can, kind of focus on different parts going on there. And
right.
I just can't believe some of the things they do. They're changing up their defenses so much. They'll rush 3, they'll rush 1, they'll play up, they'll play back.
A lot of practice. Here's Simon again, running near side, and Skips diving into the backfield. Gets another pull. Skips showing off the go-go gadget arms there to go grab that one. Flag on the play.
Well, a little hard to tell sometime because the flags are yellow on both teams, which is a little confusing.
Personal foul called against Jalen Colby of the Patriots, and that's going to Was
Yeah.
it 15 yards? So that's going to put it right up near first down territory.
What a tough penalty. I mean, you don't like giving up the yards, but they're going to run about a minute and a half administering the penalty. So, you know, that really is a rule that needs to be scrutinized.
Well, I said that was going to be down near first down territory, and I was categorically wrong about that one. It's on the 30 and the 25, and Service needs to get to the 40. Here's a little screen pass. Nice catch. And the flag actually falls off. 23 trying to worm her way up the middle. Does pick up a few yards, but makes it a much more manageable fourth down, I would say, for Service now on their own 31.
Throw caution to the wind here, trailing 21-0. You know, another thing North Pole is doing is they're disguising their rush. So they're starting everybody about 5 yards back, and out of that pack, somebody starts to rush. Service is committed to stopping the rush, but you don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
I haven't seen that utilized too much, but it's good strategy.
Service coming out in the spread now, just about 3.5 minutes to play. Oh, and now we're going to get a timeout on the field, so we will take a break. It's the 2024 Flag Football State Championships. North Pole on top in Wasilla on the NFHS Network. Wasilla, it's Veterans Memorial Football Field. Flag Football State Championship. North Pole in Service. North Pole a commanding 21-0 lead, and a fourth down try for Service here to pick up first down. Myers takes the snap, looking to pass. She's going deep, and that one is going to be picked off by Tamani Skips up the near sideline, and she has her flag pulled just a few yards shy of what will be the line to gain once they get this next drive started. What a game for Tamani Skips.
Yeah, offense, defense. But again, even as Northport fans celebrate, the ball is thrown deep down the field. It's fourth down. You knock it down, you have it in a great spot.
True.
You get the interception, you gain 5 yards on it. I mean,
right.
The normal conservative defensive play is, hey, knock it to the turf.
Knock it down.
But
take over.
You'd have had the turnover on downs regardless.
3 minutes to play now in the third quarter. A 3-score lead for the Patriots. They're going to try and extend it to 4 here. Tamani Skips with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Back to take the snap. There's Guzman in motion, and Skips is going to keep it, working her way upfield and diving forward. She's got a first down, and it's all the way down to the Service 15. North Pole once again threatening to pad the lead here.
Yeah. Interesting play. The ball on the right hash, and they run option right. Kind of crowded over there, short sideline, but still everything working for North Pole.
They can do no wrong. In the Kenai Homer game a little bit ago, Homer fumbled the ball 6 times, and every single time it would bounce straight into the hands of a Homer player. It felt like a game of destiny, you know what I mean?
They weren't fumbling, they were dribbling.
It looked like it. That's really what it did look like. Skips back to take the snap here from the Service 16. Here's the snap. Guzman takes the handoff, running far side. Now a pitch to the younger Skips, diving forward, and has her flag finally pulled by Sky Richardson, the safety coming up to make that play.
Wow. So deceptive. On the initial handoff, the quarterback puts her hands behind her back. So you don't know if she's got a ball behind her or she handed off the ball. And they carry out their fakes.
Like a fake Statue of Liberty almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is how it looks.
Skips back to take another snap here. Guzman to her right. Skips with the snap, and she drops it. That'll make it a less manageable 3rd and goal from the now Service 14-yard line. That'll back him up. She had her eyes where she was going to go before she had the ball in her hands.
So Guzman comes over and gets the play off the sideline. Clock under a minute to play. So what's likely to happen is North Pole either score or not score. Time should expire here in the third quarter, and they'll either be 3 or 4 touchdowns ahead, and that's pretty hard to come back from.
Yeah, with only a quarter to play. Skips in the backfield. Guzman in motion. Skips keeps it. Wanting to pass. She's got her sister wide open, and it's a touchdown! Jade Skips. What a catch. Arms fully extended. And Taimani Skips now adds a touchdown pass to her stat total for the day. 2 touchdown runs, 1 touchdown pass, 2 interceptions. I don't know how you spell player of the game, but I think it rhymes with Skips.
Wow, here's a interesting little wrinkle. Time has expired here in the third quarter, but they'll run the point after, and they've asked for a 3-point try. So
this is just a rehearsal for when you need to do this at some point.
They're trying to get ready for the next game, which actually isn't until next August.
Until next August. They're prepping for next year.
I would think, too, if they're really trying to convert right here, is they run that same play again.
We'll see. Oh, and it goes nowhere. Skips can't hang on to it. So perfection maybe not in the cards, but close to it.
I've seen games where so you have a big lead, you're probably going to mercy rule. You are going to mercy rule.
Yeah.
And so rather than, take a knee or run around and do whatever, you muff the snap. It doesn't, we muff the snap, but you're allowing the clock to run. You're not putting it on the other team. But let's jump out while they march the length of the field, and the fourth quarter will start. Yeah,
here we go. It's we'll step aside, and when we come back, fourth quarter will get underway. It's the 2024 Flag Football State Championship on the NFHS Network. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Field in Wasilla, where the North Pole Patriots seem to be cruising to a state championship in the first ever ASAA State Flag Football Championship. Service with the ball. Simon, though, up the near side through the middle. Now she's at the far sideline. One person to beat. That Skips up the sideline, and she's going to take it to the house. A touchdown for Service. What a response to open up the fourth quarter. Nora Skips takes it 85 yards, and Service gets on the board with an exclamation point.
Well, it just kind of shows you how good Nora Simon is, and they've kept her bottled up. But if you don't get her early, you might not get her late. And as good as North Pole has been defensively, if she gets a step on you, it's off to the races.
Yeah, trying to chase her down was Jade Skips. She was right there and just nothing doing. Nora Simon turning on the afterburners up the far sideline, but the clock continues to run, and it may be too little too late for Service. They're going to go for just a standard one here to make it 27-7. Right now it's 27-6. Sonoma Meyer throwing near side, and that is tipped away. Nevaeh Dunlap getting in the way of that one. And it's a 21-point lead for North Pole. And wow. that's what Service was trying to get going the whole game.
They had to kind of change their goal, and the first goal was to get on the board. Let's subvert the shutout. And North Pole, if they hadn't scored that last touchdown, they would have, taken away the mercy rule. But still mercy rule application here with a 21-point lead. But, the next step for the Cougars is, hey, let's get on the board again, and now we get it to the last 2 minutes.
Right.
So
then you can work things just a little bit. So
you're saying there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
North Pole will take over. Taimani Skips in the backfield. Guzman in motion. There's the snap. Skips hands it off to Jade Skips. Now back inside. Splits the defense. Still going. Flags flying in everywhere. It's going to be holding against Service. Although, sometimes you commit a penalty to avoid the greater bad, which would have been a Jade Skips touchdown right there, if not to hold her back a little bit.
Yeah, so Here's a play where there's a good gain, and then the jersey is grabbed, and it's so obvious.
Yeah.
You see the jersey go like this.
Stretch.
And 3 out of the 4 officials throw a flag, if not 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I counted about 5 flags coming in out of 4 officials.
That's probably what it was.
I think gratuitous is the word you're looking for on that hold.
Yeah, if I knew what that mean, it would be the word that I'd use. But they're going to march it off, service backed up, and then in the administration of the penalty, it's over a minute. It's going to take over a minute to.
So it'll be first down for North Pole now on their own 31-yard line.
Here's a discrepancy, and that is the official from the sideline has blown the whistle and tried to stop play, and then about 8 more seconds went off the clock. So
back judge Gary Hansen coming in to make that signal there.
And they're going to come up here. They're going to yell to Norm, and the official, Norm's the PA guy. So it says 8:35. They should have kept it. They should have kept back on. They should add a few seconds, but apparently they will not. Clock starts again, and it being 27-6, no one's going to kick up too much of a fuss.
Skips back to take the snap. Guzman in motion. Handoff does go to Guzman, working her way up the near side, splitting the defense. Golly, I think I heard the clicking of those tap dancing shoes as she was turning sideways and squeezing through the defense. Picks up about 10, 12 yards, and it'll be first down for North Pole.
One of the things that happens in flag football, especially early in the season, there's people grabbing at you, so you stop, and then you look, and you still have your flags on.
Right.
But Guzman, even though people were grabbing right and left, she continued her momentum. Somebody misses a flag, she doesn't give them a break by stopping. She's going to score.
Several different really next-level athletes for North Pole here. Here's another snap, a reverse. This is Guzman, or this is Skips. Far side now. Pickup of maybe 10, and Guzman really sold the fake there, even got her flag pulled.
Here's another way that North Pole is gaining an advantage on service, and that is they're lining up with players on one side, players on the other side. Service is not really reacting. They're in a defensive position, but somebody's sitting out there at an outside linebacker, and there's nobody out there. So right now, North Pole's like deployed to the right, and there's players way to the left that can't be involved in the play.
Right. Snap, handoff up the middle. Still with her flag, still up the middle, and that is Skips of the Jade variety that picks up the first down all the way down to the service 32. 6.5 minutes to play.
So we've talked about it a little bit, but it comes down to time and score right now.
Right.
You have the ball. You're going to take time off the clock, and then hopefully at the end you're going to convert. But either way, by scoring or running time, you're going to win. And if you do both, you're going to win handily.
Right. You can just go with the, was it David Carr? I can't remember the NFL quarterback that ran time off the clock by just running backwards to kill as much time as possible. Here's the snap, and Jade skips up the middle. Close to a first down, about a yard to go. 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
It's almost better to be right near the down marker. Now you have a second down play. And
take a couple shots at the end zone.
You're probably going to get a first down, and then you still have 4 downs, and the clock continues to run. And it's 5.5 before they snap the ball here. And they could, if they wanted to, take it right down to the 2-minute warning by the time they score.
North Pole seemingly on their way, and now we get a flags coming in as service jumps offside.
So, Nick, the back judge is counting down the clock, and North Pole's allowing it to run. And if it was a closer game, you'd really wait till the very last second to run as much as you can off the clock. North Pole doesn't really need to do that. But as the clock was running down, they went a long count. Service is anxious. They know the clock's running. and they drew the encroachment penalty.
Now under 5 minutes to play. Mercy rule, the game would effectively end with 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Skips back to receive the snap, and now she's just going to let the clock continue to run.
And the count is on 5, but they snap.
The snap handoff is to Guzman, and she splits the defense, gets the first down, and has her flag pulled at about the 11-yard line, and that should be enough for North Pole to run this one down to 2 minutes.
Yeah, that second down marker is placed at the goal line. They can't get a first down without scoring the touchdown. They're not even going to have to snap the ball till under the 4-minute mark.
North Pole on their way to a championship in the inaugural state flag football tournament. Skips takes the snap, working her way toward the right side. She wants to pass. She kind of just heaves it up, and it's going to be, is that caught in bounds? No, they mark her out.
It's going to be a roughing the passer, though. And that's
Guzman makes the catch, and Skips takes a little bit of contact in the backfield after making the pass.
The ball was in the air a long time. That'll take some time off the clock.
Right, that was a flight from Anchorage to Houston right there.
And we haven't seen a punt go that high.
3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. We're about 70 seconds away from this one wrapping up in a championship in the books. Year one for the state tournament for flag football. North Pole is going to be your first champion. Flag still laying down there on the field.
Sometimes when this happens in a closer game, you want to use one of your timeouts rather than wait for them. You'd lose over a minute to administer the penalty.
Well, it's first and goal for the Patriots, and they're on the 11-yard line. Service's 11-yard line, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This should be just about the last play.
Really prefer to see a kneel down in this situation.
Skips is going to run with it, and she'll get no gain, maybe a loss on the play. And
unless they take a timeout, and they are not.
And that's going to do it. Clock ticking down to 2 minutes, which is with a 21-point lead for Service, will effectively end the game. And that's it. The North Pole Patriots are your 2024 flag football state champions. An incredible game for a number of players, none more so than Taimani Skips for North Pole. She comes away with 2 interceptions, 2 touchdown runs, and a touchdown pass to, I'm going to have to assume it's her sister, Jade Skips, on the other end of that touchdown pass. At in the third quarter, your final score, North Pole 27, Service 6.
So we're going to take a break right quick here. We're going to have player of the game when we come back. And after that, Nick and I will leave it to
our very capable production crew of Gene Freeman on the camera and Sophia Glover, our broadcast producer. It's the 2024 state championship for flag football on the NFHS network. ASAA. Welcome back to the NFHS network coverage of the 2024 ASAA Flag Football State Championship Tournament. The North Pole Patriots are your state champions after a final score 27-6 over the Service Cougars. Time now for your player of the game. Brad, who are we thinking here?
Well, there's
really only
obvious
one,
candidates.
right? Yeah.
For Service, Nora Simon, who's going to add it to her collection. I think we mentioned earlier in the tournament that she's considered the of the top rushers in the history of the Cook County Conference. She's ranked 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's kind of sketchy statistics. Norm Bouchard will make the announcement.
I think they just said number 23 for the Cougars, who we don't have her name on our roster.
Oh, yeah. So an unnamed winner.
Unnamed winner, yeah.
And I guess we should share that.
Jade Skips is the player of the game here.
Typically, if you win a player of the game the first game, they don't want to give it to you all 3 days.
Right.
You want to spread it. But back in the day when we started radio, Brandon Drum, one of the greatest rushers in the history.
Right.
So he would win it every week if you wanted to. So you give him the award, and then the next week he rushes for 335 yards.
Yeah.
And you give it to a guy who had 3 tackles.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that rule it's more of a guideline.
Right. Yeah,
rule.
Exactly. Then you got to go with the top stats player. Yeah, we've seen that happen for arguably the Gatorade Player of the Year for football this year out of Soldotna and in Wolverton. He's averaging about 35 yards per touch.
Yeah.
And he could be the player of the game just about every single time he has a game. And But yeah.
Well, let's say you're the right guard, and you pancake somebody every single play.
Right. You pave the way for that run.
And then the quarterback gets the player again. I mean, you're the quarterback. Unless you goof things up, you're going to be player of the game. It's not like baseball where somebody gets 3 hits, they're the player of the game.
Yeah.
So pitchers are favored. But we're just about to get out of here. North Pole's celebrating. They take a tour of their fans. Hats off to Tony Maldonado with a great effort. His service girls, no one thought they would be here. They got to the championship game. No shame in being a runner-up in the first state championship.
No, none whatsoever.
They have a lot to be proud of, and I hope that they recognize how well they've done, and that their bus ride back to service would be a time for them to reflect and enjoy all their accomplishments. For North Pole,
it's going to be a little bit shorter than North Pole's bus ride.
Yeah, North Pole, it's a long way to go, but you see Santa at the end, and a lot to celebrate, not just Christmas.
Yeah,
but
Christmas came
a traveling
early.
trophy.
Yeah, there you go.
And then, in addition to recognizing these teams, we want to remind you that if you're a sports fan, you want to stay connected with Alaska Sports Talk. And we're going to talk this week about game highlights, and we're going to analyze what's going on. We'll have interviews with various coaches setting up the D2 and D3 championship games. Alaska Sports Talk, it's a podcast that has you covered. Like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and now on YouTube. And I'm going to mention this as we get through all our stuff, as I notice the team of Vreeman Solutions walking by. They're your go-to experts for business consulting, events management, media solutions. It's a full-service consulting with a team of seasoned professionals. They've been there. They've done that really across nearly every industry. Don't wait to improve your business productivity or bring your event to life. Email Isaiah at BremenSolutions.com today.
Well, your final score for the Patriots and the Service Cougars, North Pole on top, 27-6. They are your 2024 flag football state champions. That's going to do it for our broadcast. Camera's going to stay here and capture all the awards, but Brad and I are going to step away for the Service Cougars and the North Pole Patriots, and for the NFHS Network. I'm Nick Sorrell saying,
hey, Nick,
go ahead.
Just before we go,
yeah.
and just curious about the Diamond Bartlett game. It's
yes.
the only undecided game here from this weekend, and we've already established that Wes is in that championship game. It's going to be at Colony next weekend.
Let's see if we can get a score update here. Last I saw, it was 36-6. Diamond was on top.
Okay, so that's the way to bet.
They look like they're headed toward a state championship. That's the final score, 36-6. So
okay.
Make sure you tune in next week. We got 2 more state championship finals coming up for the Division II state championship next Saturday in the afternoon. That one will be between the Soldotna Stars and the Lathrop Malamutes. And on Friday, the Division I state championship, that'll be between the Diamond Lynx and the West Anchorage Eagles. that one on Friday afternoon.
And they're going to be up here in the Valley as well. They do such a great job hosting up here, and we're reminded of that as we see Stacy Arrested, the athletic director here at Wasilla High School. Our thanks to them for their hosting of this event. They have the hospitality room. It's one that we're going to check out on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
And then also recognition of ASAA, all the good folks, Sandy Wagner, Isaiah Bremen, Brad Potter, go right down the list. Brian Hoskett, who's refs a lot of game and assigns the officials. And then Kathleen Navarre from ASAA has been the commissioner, the czar. She's in charge of that event for ASAA. So thanks for all the people that have made this possible.
Thank you very much. And so, yeah, for NFHS Network, ASAA, all those names that Brad just mentioned. And for our broadcast camera operator, Gene Freeman, and our broadcast producer, Sophia Glover, I'm Nick Sorrell, saying good night and God bless.